Now, our speaker for today is somebody who we know and love and always has wonderful words of wisdom for us. And I look forward to knowing that she's got stand in her title as well. So it's Reverend Joyce Zorger. Okay, Joyce.
Thank you. I love the songs. I absolutely love those songs. That the one, my emotions are so surface these days, and my talk is I stand in knowing, and the song that you just sang, the last song, is perfect. And I realized that I was supposed to speak on June 12th, and that morning it was just came upon me that I was feeling kind of squirrely. Well, I know we have a lot of ground squirrels around our property I've been dealing with, but I was feeling squirrely myself, and I took my temperature, my blood pressure rather, and it was like 200 over 100. And that was scary. And that scared me enough that I called Brian and I asked him if he could take over for me, because I didn't want to be driving in, and I didn't know, what was causing it. But I looked back on the week before, and there was it was a fire out in my area, and I could see the smoke from my porch. I looked over to the east, and there was smoke in the sky, and there were fire engines, one after the other. There were helicopters in the sky, picking up water from Lopez Lake, and there was a couple of planes that was dropping red retardant on the fire. This happened in one of the properties out there, lot 40, and I don't know what started it, but they were on top of it, and they were taking care of it, and that gave me a lot of comfort. But it also gave me a lot of stress in knowing how to handle the situation, and I was, looking at that, looking back, I also didn't have, when I talked to Brian that morning, he said, well, you could do it on Zoom, but I didn't have my emails were down because I didn't remember the answer to my security question. And I was so frustrated because I was trying to put in a new password. They had me go in to answer the security question, and I just get so frustrated. I know you probably do too, with all of this that we have to deal with, and this causes stress. And then it's just, one of my daughters, I have 3 daughters, the daughter that was here for John's memorial, she and her husband were in Europe, and they both contracted COVID and had to be quarantined there, and they couldn't get back home. And, it was just one thing after another, and I blame my high blood pressure on that. But I don't know what I blame for this morning. I was kind of feeling a little off too, and my blood pressure was still sort of high. I managed to bring it down. I was up since 4 o'clock because my dogs were in the laundry room, and Lucy, my female, their brother and sister, Toby and Lucy, I've had them from the very get-go, from their 2 months old. Crazy me, I got 2 puppies, but anyway, they're a lot of company for me. But Lucy, probably Toby stepped on her, and she started going haywire in the laundry room and woke me up at 4 in the morning. So I've been up since 4 and doing a lot of work with bringing myself down into a more peaceful place to be. A lot of meditation, and I even called Unity, and I asked for prayer. That is a wonderful place if ever you need to have support, give Unity a call. If you have the Daily Word booklet, it has the phone number in there. But on the 12th of June, I was ready for the talk, and but when I was wanted to share with you what happened to me the day before, which would be the 11th of June. I was taking a walk on a property, and I got down. I'm going to share this. If I can share this without crying, I would like to do this. But I had this. John, our ranch is called the Feather Ranch, and we named it the Feather Ranch because when we were looking at the property, and before we even had our offer accepted, we were walking the property, and John found a feather on the up in the hills, and he said, "Joyce, look what I found," and he brought it down and showed me, and I said, "Well, John, if we get this property, let's call it the Feather Ranch." And that's what we did. We called it the Feather Ranch. And so feathers have always been very kind of important in our almost 25 years of being there. And so I'm walking on the property and I get to a tree that John and I refer to as the turnaround tree. And there was this feather right by the tree. And this is a barn owl feather, which are quite rare to find. And John knows how much I love barn owl feathers, the construction of them. They're just so beautiful. And there it was, right by the turnaround tree. And so I was going to share that with you on the 12th, but I wanted to share it with you today. But in the meantime, this is what I found when I put it in this. I wrote a little note to myself to share this feather on a piece of paper that I took out of a little notepad. And I looked on the back of the notepad. This is what was written a long time ago. And it says, and you talked about the mystery, Brian, in one of the things in the inspirational talk that you gave about the mystery in the universe. And this is what was written on the back of this paper. It says, there are feathers that fall. Whoa, there are feathers that fall into our lives as simple reminders to stay awake, because the mystery of life may speak to us at any time. So what is that? Whoa, I'll read that again without totally breaking up. But just above that was, death is the mystery in the heart of life. Death is the mystery in the heart of life. And so I think that's my husband passed away on March 6th, and I've been experiencing that mystery of his not being with me in a present form. But I just feel that most of the time he's with me, and there are little messages that come to me that I can't avoid. And reading this, there are feathers that fall into our lives as simple reminders to stay awake, because the mystery of life may speak to us at any time. So I'm urging you to look throughout your day, look through your day, the things that happen, be aware, alive, awake, and aware of the mystery of life. It's so beautiful, so beautiful. We're still here. We never know how long we're going to be here in this present form, but I'm just glad to be here. I love this community. This community gives me strength. And I have a prayer that I say that God is my strength and vision is his gift. And when I say that affirmation, and affirmations are so powerful, that's probably what got me into becoming a practitioner many years ago. In the late 80s, my husband and I were having issues with our relationship. And I was even contemplating a divorce at that time. And I decided that I wanted to go to a counselor. I went to a professional counselor. And I was so busy all the time, just so busy. And I think I was just overly busy in order to avoid some of the things I had to face up to in our marriage. And the one psychologist said to me, what to do? Well, either you stay busy or you get a divorce. This is what he said. That was the solution. Either stay busy or get a divorce. So I decided to go to a practitioner with the church that I was attending. And I went to see her, and it made such a difference in my life. And there were 5 things. She asked me, what is it that you'd like me to pray for and do a spiritual mind treatment for? And I told her, I said, I want serenity in my life. I was just running, so busy all the time. And that was the number one thing. I wanted serenity, and I wanted peace and harmony in my relationship with John. And I wanted understanding of where this is all going. And I wanted to have that guidance, the direction to show me where to go. So the serenity, peace and harmony, understanding and direction. And I saw her several times. And each time, that's what we worked on. That's what we worked on in Science of Mind, in the what we call the prayer treatment. Science of Mind prayer treatment. And I tell you, that made a difference in my life. My whole life changed from that point on. And it's so much so that I decided this worked for me. I want to become a practitioner myself. So it was in 1992, I went through the studies, And I did become a practitioner. It took years of training and classes to take, but I became a practitioner in the early 90s, and continued on with my life. But my life, I started doing meditation on a regular basis. I started doing, this was in the 80s, late 80s, I started doing yoga every morning, except Saturday and Sunday. I give myself a break. I still do every morning, every morning, Monday through Friday. Before I even go downstairs to face the world, I do yoga for half an hour, and it helps center me. The word for yoga is the unity of life. And it's me becoming aware of my body and caring for my body and wanting it to, and because I have things to do still. I have animals to take care of at Feather Ranch. I think I would like to stay there. I'm not sure how possible this will be, but right now, in this moment, I plan to stay at Feather Ranch. It has so many wonderful memories for me. I'll let you take that. No problem. I have water somewhere. Where did I put my water? Oh, here it is. I always find what I need. And that's an affirmation. Be very careful. One of the steps in spiritual mind treatment is that where we recognize that God is everywhere present. There is no place where God is not, everywhere present in and through all life. And the second step in treatment is to unify with that presence, and knowing that the God that is all life is right here within me. And you can call it God, universal intelligence. There are many names for that, the spirit, but it's all the same. It is that power. To me, it's an energy force. And that energy force is what we are born into. And our lives are connected to that. But our lives are so powerful. Our thoughts are so powerful, and our word is so powerful that we have to be careful with the words we use. If we say, I'm tired, the law, the principle, okay, you're right, you're tired. And that's what comes out, and we move forward with that. But so that we're talking about spiritual mind treatment and the scientific prayer that I was trained in as a practitioner. And the first step, as I said, was that to recognize that presence, that God, that power, that energy that is everywhere present. And the second step would be to unify with that. And we always talk about the unification, that we are all one, and we are all one together and one in that universal power. And the third step is so important, and that's the realization. We realize what is true, and that realization is what is something we have to be very clear about what it is that we want to realize as being truth in our lives. That truth that we're careful with the words we say. That's why affirmations are so powerful, because they guide us into powerful words that allow us to accept those words as truth. And that's the realization stage, and that can be as long as you want it to be, but it's all of a process. And then, of course, we're grateful. We're grateful for knowing the truth of who we are. And that gratefulness is the fourth step in spiritual mind treatment. And that gratefulness is something that we need to recognize, that we are so blessed. And I am so blessed. And I continue to say that each day. I am blessed. I know how God is my strength. Vision is his gift. I move through the day with grace and ease, and knowing exactly what to do and how to do it, and open myself to love, and being that love to whoever I meet. I am that expression of love, and that's what God is to me. God is love, and God is expressing through me as that love. And the last step of treatment is to release, and to release the words, the powerful word that I speak. I release that word into the creative power and action of the law, and the law is the principle. And it knows, it accepts whether we say, I'm tired, I'm sick, I want to, I just don't want to live anymore. It accepts that as truth. And we have to be careful of how we phrase that. But when I release my word into the creative power and action of the law, I know it is so, and I say, and so it is. So I am grateful for my life. I want to live this life as best I can. I want to do the things that enhance my life. And that, a worrisome thing about the blood pressure that I was dealing with. And I think I will probably plan to see a cardiologist. Maybe that might be a useful thing to do. But I want to do, and I want to, focus on God, guide me and to help. I am guided. I am always guided to know what to do and how to do it and the best way to do it. And I'm, unfortunately, my primary care doctor, she is going into a concierge situation. And I'm, at this point, I don't want to pay the $2,100 a year to have her be my doctor anymore. So I'm going to look for a new primary care doctor, which I know that I will find the perfect right doctor. In fact, I'm finding that person now. I've been looking and someone has given me some names. So I feel really blessed. I feel blessed to be here in this congregation and look around and see the faces of love. To me, you're all faces of love. It's God within you that expresses that love toward me. And this warms my heart. And, I spent probably before the 12, I spent a couple of weeks preparing my talk for the 12, then preparing the talk for today. I talked hardly anything about that, but I wanted to just extrapolate the feelings I was having from the music. The music was just, whoa, it just, take a stand. I stand. And that's the third step in the spiritual mind treatment. I take a stand in knowing. So you take a stand in knowing who you are, knowing that what you need and how to open yourself to receive it. It's all about being, I think to me, it's just to allow. The two words that are powerful for me is allow and release. And so allow Spirit to talk to me and to show me the way. This feather, this is allowing to know that I'm never alone. We're never alone. We're always loved and guided. And so open to that love and guidance. If you have a few more things to say, I'm going to take a little sip of water. Anyway, this is, it's such a pleasure for me to be able to speak with you. Thank you, Brian, for switching with me. And I know this was your day, and I kind of felt a little squirrely this morning too, and I thought, I can't call Brian up at the last minute again. No. Oh, God. Life goes on, and we just know that I think I said a lot of the things that I was planning on saying, but I wrote down in closing, since I spent all this time writing this, I want to add this to it. In closing, the consciousness behind our word in prayer, it says, the greater the consciousness, these are my words, the greater the consciousness behind our word in prayer, the more power it has. Our word gives form to the unformed. Speak in the present tense when you're doing your prayer work. Realize the truth in its present form, not the future. Realize the truth in the present form. Don't ever say, tomorrow I will feel better. No, I feel better now, whether you do or not. I am feeling better now. You use it in the present tense form. So when I speak my word in prayer, I stand in knowing that the faith within me neutralizes all doubt. I like that word neutralize the doubt, and move forward and stand in knowing the truth of who you are. And, this is, I want you to just take a moment and go within. I'm going to do like a closing prayer for us and for me as well. And just relax into this place. And just take a deep breath. So when I speak my word in prayer, I stand in knowing that the faith within me neutralizes all doubt. I stand in knowing that God is, I am, and all is well with my body, mind, and soul. And as I know this for me, dear ones, I know this also for you, each one of you. And so with a grateful heart, I now release my word into the creative power and action of the law, knowing it is done as I believe. And so it is. And so that is my message this morning. Thank you. Thank you. Love this.